Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate 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 Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naranjaiva Narottamam
Naranjaiva Narottamam
Devin Saraswatin Vyasam
Devin Saraswati
Tato Jayamudiraye
Tato Jayamudiraye
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu
Ashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavate Uttamasloke
Bhagavate Uttamasloke
Bhaktin Bhavatir Naistiti
Bhaktin Bhavati Naistuki
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Nandagopa Kumaraya
Nandagopa Kumaraya
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Hare Krishna, welcome all the devotees for the morning Śrīmad Bhagavatam discussion. Today we are going to discuss Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 4, text number 20. 2.4.20. The canto name is The Cosmic Manifestation and the chapter name is The Process of Creation. Please repeat the sloka behind me. Śriyaḥ yajña-patiḥ prajā-patir.
Śriyaḥ yajña-patiḥ prajā-patir.
dhiyāṁ loka-patir dharā-patiḥ.
dhiyāṁ loka-patir dharā-patiḥ.
Patir gatiś cāndhaka-vṛṣṇi-sātvatāṁ.
Patir gatiś cāndhaka-vṛṣṇi-sātvatāṁ.
prasīdatāṁ me bhagavān satāṁ patiḥ.
Prasīdatāṁ me bhagavān satāṁ patiḥ.
Word by word meaning. Please repeat again me. Śriyaḥ.
Śriyaḥ.
All opulence.
All opulence.
Patiḥ.
Patiḥ.
The owner.
The owner.
Yajña.
Yajna.
Of sacrifice.
Of sacrifice.
Patiḥ.
Patiḥ.
The director.
The director.
prajā-patiḥ.
Prajā-patiḥ.
The leader of all living entities.
The leader of all living entities.
dhiyāṁ.
Dhiyāṁ.
Of intelligence.
Of intelligence.
Patiḥ.
Patiḥ.
The master.
The master.
loka-patiḥ.
Loka-patiḥ.
The proprietor of all planets.
The proprietor of all planets.
Dara.
Dara.
Earth.
Earth.
Patiḥ.
Patiḥ.
The supreme.
The supreme.
Patiḥ.
Patiḥ.
Head.
Head.
gatiḥ.
Gatiḥ.
Destination.
Destination.
Cha.
Cha.
Also.
Also.
Andhaka.
Cāndhaka.
One of the kings of the Yadu dynasty.
One of the kings of the Yadu dynasty.
Vrishni.
Vrishni.
The first king of the Yadu dynasty.
The first king of the Yadu dynasty.
Sarvatāṁ.
Sarvatāṁ.
Sorry, Sattvatāṁ.
Sattvatāṁ, sorry. Yeah.
The Yadus.
The Yadus.
Prasīdatāṁ.
Prasīdatāṁ.
Be merciful.
Be merciful.
Me.
Me.
Upon me.
Upon me.
Bhagavān.
Bhagavān.
Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa.
Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa.
Satāṁ.
Satāṁ.
Of all devotees.
Of all devotees.
Patiḥ.
Patiḥ.
The Lord.
The Lord.
Translation. Purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanavadi A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Translation. Please repeat behind me. May Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa,
May Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa,
who is the worshipable Lord of all devotees,
who is the worshipable
Lord of all the
Lord of all
devotees,
devotees,
the protector and glory of all the kings,
the protector and the glory of all the kings,
like Anantaka and Vrishni
like Cāndhaka and Vṛṣṇi
of the Yadu dynasty,
of the Yadu dynasty,
the husband of all goddesses of fortune,
the husband of all goddesses of fortune,
the director of all sacrifices,
the director of all sacrifices,
and therefore the leader of all living entities,
the leader of all living entities,
the controller of all intelligence,
the controller of all intelligence,
the proprietor of all planets,
the proprietor of all planets,
spiritual and material,
spiritual and material,
and the supreme incarnation
and the supreme incarnation
on the earth, the supreme all in all.
The supreme all in all.
Be merciful upon me.
Be merciful upon me.
Purport. Since Śukadeva Gosvāmī is one of the prominent gata-vyalīkas who are freed from all misconceptions, he therefore expressed his own perception of Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa as being the sum total of all perfection, the personality of Godhead. Everyone is seeking the favor of the goddess of fortune, but people do not know that Lord Krishna is the beloved husband of all goddesses of fortune. In the Brahma-saṁhitā, it is said that the Lord, in his transcendental abode, Goloka Vṛndāvana, is accustomed to herding the surabhi cows and is served there by hundreds and thousands of goddesses of fortune. All these goddesses of fortune are manifestations of his transcendental pleasure potency, hlādinī-śakti, in his eternal energy. And when the Lord manifested himself on the earth, he partially displayed the activities of his pleasure potency in his rāsa-līlā just to attract the conditional souls who are all after the phantasmagoria pleasure potency in degraded sex enjoyment. The pure devotees of the Lord, like Śukadeva Gosvāmī, who was completely detached from the abominable sex life of the material world, discussed this act of the Lord's pleasure potency, certainly not in relation to sex, but to release the transcendental taste inconceivable to the mundaners who are after sex life. Sex life is the mundane world. In the mundane world is the root cause of being conditioned by the cycle of illusion. And certainly, Śukadeva Gosvāmī was never interested in the sex life of the mundane world, nor does the manifestation of the Lord pleasure potency have any connection with such degraded things. Lord Chaitanya was a strict sannyasi, so much so that he did not allow any woman to come near him, not even to bow down and offer respects. He never even heard the prayers of the deva-dāsīs offered in the temple of Jagannath because the sannyasi is forbidden to hear songs sung by the fair sex. Yet, even in the rigid position of the sannyasi, he recommended the mode of worship preferred by the gopis of Vṛndāvana as the topmost loving service possible to be rendered to the Lord. And Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī is the principal head of all such goddesses of fortune, and therefore she is pleasure counterpart of the Lord and the non-different from Krishna. In the Vedic rituals, there are recommendations for performing different types of sacrifices in order to achieve the greatest benefit in life. Such benedictions as the result of performing great sacrifices are, after all, favors given by the goddess of fortune and the Lord, being the husband or lover of the goddesses of fortune. He is factually the Lord of all sacrifices also. He is the final enjoyer of all kinds of yajna. Therefore, yajña-patiḥ is another name of Lord Vishnu. It is recommended in Bhagavad Gita that everything be done for the yajña-patiḥ. Yajñārtāt karmanaha. For otherwise, one's act will be the cause of conditioning by the law of material nature. Those who are not freed from all misconception, vyalikam, perform sacrifices to please the minor demigods. But the devotees of the Lord know very well that Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa is the supreme enjoyer of all performances of sacrifices. Therefore, they perform the Sankirtana Yajna, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, which is especially recommended in the age of Kali. In the Kali Yuga, performance of other type of sacrifices is not feasible due to insufficient arrangements and inexpert priesthood. We have information from the Bhagavad Gita 3.10 and 11 that Lord Brahma, after giving rebirth to the conditioned souls within the universe, instructed them to perform sacrifices and to lead a prosperous life. With such sacrificial performances, the conditioned souls will never be in difficulty in keeping body and soul together. Ultimately, they can purify their existence. They will find natural promotion into spiritual existence, the real identity of the living being. A conditioned soul should never give up a practice of sacrifice, charity, and austerity in all circumstances. The aim of all such sacrifices is to please the yajña-patiḥ, the personality of Godhead. Therefore, the Lord is also prajā-patir. According to the Katha the one Lord is the leader of the innumerable living entities. The living entities are maintained by the Lord. Eko bhaganam ya vidādāti kāmān. The Lord is therefore called the Supreme Bhuta or maintainer of all living beings. Living beings are proportionately endowed with intelligence in terms of their previous activities. All living beings are not equally endowed with the same quality of intelligence because behind such development of intelligence is the control of the Lord, as declared in Bhagavad Gita 15.13. As Paramatma, Supersoul, the Lord is living in everyone's heart, and from him only does one's power of remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness follow. Mattaga smirnyanam apohanam cha. One person can sharply remember past activities by the grace of the Lord, while other cannot. One is highly intelligent by the grace of the Lord, and other is fooled by the same control. Therefore, the Lord is dhiyāṁ, or the Lord of intelligence. The conditioned souls strive to become Lord of the material world. Everyone is trying to lord it over the material nature by applying his highest degree of intelligence. This misuse of intelligence by the conditioned soul is called madness. One's full intelligence should be applied to get free from the material clutches. But the conditioned soul, due to the madness only, engages his full energy and intelligence in sense gratification. And to achieve this end of life, he willfully commits all sorts of misdeeds. The result is that instead of attaining an unconditional life of full freedom, the bad conditioned soul is entangled again and again in different types of bondage in material bodies. Everything we see in the material manifestation is but the creation of the Lord. Therefore, he is the real proprietor of everything in the universe. The conditioned soul can enjoy a fragment of this material creation under the control of the Lord, but not self-sufficiently. This is instruction in the Ishopanishad. One should be satisfied with things awarded by the Lord of the universe. It is out of madness only that one tries to encroach upon another's share of material possession. The Lord of universe, when out of his causeless mercy upon the conditioned souls, descends by his own energy, Atma Maya, to re-establish the eternal relations of the conditioned soul with him. He instructs all to surrender unto him instead of falsely claiming to be enjoyer by a certain limit under his control. When he so descends, he proves how much greater is his ability to enjoy, and he exhibits his power of enjoyment by, for instance, marrying 16,000 wives at once. The conditioned soul is very proud of being the husband of even one wife, but the Lord laughs at this. The intelligent man can know who is the real husband. Actually, the Lord is the husband of all the women in his creation. But conditioned soul, under the control of the Lord, feels proud to be the husband of one or two wives. All these qualifications as the different types of pati mentioned in this verse are mean for Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa, and Śukadeva Gosvāmī has therefore especially mentioned the pati and gati of the Yadu dynasty. The members of the Yadu dynasty knew that Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa is everything, and all of them intended to return to Lord Krishna after he had finished his transcendental pastime on the earth. The Yadu dynasty was annihilated by the will of the Lord because its member had to return home with the Lord. The annihilation of the Yadu dynasty was a material show created by the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, the Lord and the members of the Yadu dynasty are all eternal associates. The Lord is therefore the guide of all devotees, and as such, Śukadeva Gosvāmī offered him due respect with love-laden feelings. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnanāñjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Putre Śrīmatī Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavad Pāśāśa Deshatarani. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Today's sloka is again Śukadeva Gosvāmī. He is praising the Lord again before giving the answer about the process of creation. Yes, he is glorifying the Lord from the past few slokas, and today's sloka also he is glorifying the Lord. So here he is saying that may Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa, who is the worshipable Lord of all devotees. So devotees means bhakta. Bhakta means only for the Lord Krishna only. Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu only. Because other demigods, there cannot be any bhakta. Because bhakta in the sense, the devotees who are without any sense, anything selfishness, without any selfishness, who are serving the Lord, who are only served for the satisfy the Lord. That person is called bhakta, devotee. So that is the definition of devotee. So, but if you see the other demigods who are worshipping the other demigods like Ganesha, Kartik, Shiva, Parvati, there are Durga, there are many avatar of Durga, many temples are there. So who are all worshipping the other small minor demigods. So who are all worshipping those demigods, their intention is to get something for their self, to return in the return. So for that only they are worshipping those demigods. So that is not a bhakti, that is not a devotion. Devotional service in the sense to do the service for the pleasure of the Lord. So the Lakshmi Devis who are all doing the devotion, they are doing the devotional service to the Lord because they are working for the pleasure of the Lord. Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, she is doing the service to the Lord for the pleasure of the Lord. So those service who are all doing the service for the pleasure of the Lord, those persons should call us devotees. Others cannot be called as devotees because nowadays we are calling who are all going to the any temple, any they are those people we are calling them bhaktas. But they all having the some of the other motivation internally. They will have some selfish motivation. I want this. They may expect something, even though they are not expecting in the material way. From the material things, gold, diamond, and big bank balance. Sometimes they may expect the dignity in the society, some designation in the society. For that also they will do such kind of worship. So those are all selfishness. So without any expecting any respect from the others, giving the respect to others. So there is the way of mood of the devotee. The devotee is always he will worship, he will work for the service to the Lord, and there is no other work for him. So that person is called as a devotee. So this is the difference between the devotee and devotee of the Lord and the so-called devotee of the demigods. And the Lord is glorified here, multiple patis, śriyaḥ-pati, yajña-pati, prajā-patir. There are so many patis. Pati in the sense, in Sanskrit, it's a controller. We can say it's a controller. In the mundane way, we can say that in North, we will call the husband, it called as pati. Means he's taking care of the wife, he's controlling the family. That's why he is called as pati. So, but here, Lord is also called as pati. So it is not equal to the pati, what we are calling in the mundane world. So the pati, in the sense, here, Śukadeva Gosvāmī is explaining that he is the pati of the goddess of fortune. There are thousands of Lakshmi in Brahma-saṁhitā. Brahma is glorifying the Lord. There are thousands of Lakshmi. It is waiting in the queue to serve the Lord. So that much opulences Lord has. So thousands of Lakshmis. So we are trying to get only Lakshmi in our mundane world. We are also trying to worship Lakshmi without the understanding of who is the husband of, who is the pati, who is the controller of such Lakshmis. So because all the Lakshmis, all the goddess of fortune, we want only Lakshmi. So that's the reason there are many pujas are happening. Lakshmi puja is happening, and day after tomorrow also there going to be a function in the Maharashtra and Karnataka and Andhra place. There are so many people, they will worship Lakshmi only. They won't worship the Narayana along with Lakshmi. Because Lakshmi is the wife of Narayana. Is the wife of goddesses of, is the wife of Krishna. So they're supposed to worship the Pati first, because from him he is the controller of the Lakshmi. But since the people are not having the knowledge, they are in the ignorance. They wanted only the opulences. So they will try to satisfy Lakshmi. But Lakshmi will not be satisfied by just worshipping her. For Lakshmi, we are calling as her name as a Chanchala. Chanchala means she cannot be stay in one particular place. So she will be always roaming in the multiple places. That is the reason. So even though in the material world, if you see the opulences who are having some big bungalows, big cars, there are so much opulence, so much richness. There are gold, diamonds, everything will be there. Those people that may be for some 2-3 generations will be there. After that, if you see that the same generation, same family, it will be destroyed. We saw there are many history in our history also. There are so many kings, they lived in this in our Bharatavarsha, in our Bharat. There they also had so much of wealth, but now if you see, we may not seeing the descendants of those kind of kings and their palace, everything got destroyed. Where there is the law of nature. Because Lakshmi, if she cannot stay in one particular place, so she will roam around in the multiple places. So even though now we are all seeing the Grorpatis, Lakpatis in the currently there is no Lakpatis, because Lakshmi means there is no respect in the world, because now it has become crores. People are talking about crores. Minimum it will be a crore. So they are Crorpatis. So who are all declared as a Crorpatis. So they're all having so much of money, but that will not long last for after 2-3 generations, because Lakshmi is not a permanent she won't stay in a permanent one particular place. That's the reason. Yes, that Lakshmi is first of all is controlled by the Lord, and also the person who is worshipping the Lakshmi, she need to along with Lakshmi Padi also, Narayana or Krishna, for them also they have to worship. Then only where the people are worshipping the Krishna or Narayana, there only Lakshmi will stay for some time. Otherwise, Lakshmi won't stay. So instead of worshipping Lakshmi and getting this, it is not a degraded activity, but we should understand behind that what is the reason we have to worship, whom we need to worship, with whom we need to worship. So Lakshmi should not be worshipped alone. She need to be worshipped along with Narayana and Śrī Kṛṣṇa. So, and also here Śukadeva Gosvāmī is mentioning the Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa or Vishnu is the director of all the sacrifices. They are the sacrifice, because the yajña kunda, whatever the yajña kunda, wherever the people are doing the yajña, so all the yajña kunda, it is compared with the mouth of Lord Vishnu. So whatever the ahuti we are putting in the yajña kunda, everything we are directly putting in the mouth of Vishnu. And in the Bhagavad Gita 3.10 sloka, Krishna is explaining. So I'm reading the translation. In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods along with sacrifices for Vishnu, and blessed them to save, saying, "Be thou happy by this yajna sacrifice, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desire for living happily and achieving liberation." And in the 11th sloka, Bhagavad Gita 3.11, it is said that Krishna is saying that the demigods, being pleased by the sacrifices, will also please you, and thus by cooperation between men and the demigods, prosperity will regain for all. Region for all. So here, Krishna is saying that all the yajñas, whatever we are doing, first of all, he is the proprietor. So he is the enjoyer. Whatever the yajña we are doing, the sacrifices, first of all, by doing the yajña, we can satisfy the demigods. And those yajña, finally it is reaching the result of the yajña, finally we are giving to Narayana through the demigods. So the yajña kunda is the mouth of Lord Vishnu. So whatever ahuti we are putting there, all the things we are putting in the yajña kunda, that will directly we are putting in the mouth of Vishnu. And the smoke, it is coming out from the yajña, that will directly, it will go to the demigods. Demigods will accept that as a the yajña result, and that they will give it to the Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa, Lord Vishnu, and then the prosperity will come back to the person who are doing the yajña, and on behalf of whom they are doing the yajña, those person will get this yajña result. So this is the way Lord sent the demigods and the human being to cooperate with one another so that the demigods will be satisfied. Indra, Chandra, Varuna, because Varuna, Indra, Chandra, they are all required for the rain and sunlight is required. These are the demigods. So if you do the yajna for them, so they will be happy because they are getting the share, and that yajna itself they will share it with the Narayana. And since they are happy, and they will also return to something, some gift to us, so the human being, in the form of rain, in the form of sunlight, in the form of air, in the form of prosperity. So this is the way the cooperation should be there. This is the way Lord arranged, that's arrangement happen. But the current situation, that kind of arrangement is, we destroy that kind of arrangements because we are getting into the path of sense gratification. And we are in the ignorant path. Because since in Kali Yuga, Prabhava is Manda Buddhi and the Manda Bhagya, people are short living, and their intelligence also stolen by the sense gratifications. Because of that, people are always in the mode of sense gratification. They are deviated from the path of doing the yajna. Because the previous yuga and all, there are people used to do the yuga dharma, at least for a certain level. But in the Kali Yuga, the yuga dharma, many of the people, we were not aware what is the yuga dharma we are supposed to do. Even though many temples are there, many people are saying, even the other religions also saying, praise the Lord, take the name of the Lord. So they everything, the other religions also saying, everybody is saying about take the name of the Lord, because in the Kali Yuga, chanting the holy name of the Lord is the yuga dharma. Chanting the Samanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. This is the way we have to do this is the only thing we have to do. We don't want to do the big yajna and all, because it is not possible. That's what Prabhupada is explaining here. We don't have the pure ingredients, and the person who's supposed to do the priest, the proper priest also we don't know, who know all the Vedas and mantras. So that is the reason the yajna, whatever we are doing, it may not give the proper result to us. So what we need to do, the yajna, whatever the yajna it is prescribed for this Kali Yuga, that is the chanting the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If you do this japa yajna, that is enough to satisfy all the demigods and the Supreme Lord as well. So that will take, just doing this japa yajna, that will take us from this material world to spiritual world. So we don't want to spend any money by doing this yajna and building so much big temples, and there is no need of following so much of austerities. And also this Maha Mantra, this mantra is called Maha Mantra. So why we are calling it Maha Mantra means there is no rules and regulations, because all the other mantras we need a specific method we supposed to follow. For example, the Gayatri Mantra. So the Gayatri Mantra, even though everybody is aware of the Gayatri Mantra, the mic and all, it is there in the loudspeaker, they are putting the Gayatri Mantra. But that kind of Gayatri Mantra, it won't give the desired result, because the Gayatri Mantra should be chanted by the Brahmanas who are doing the Brahmanical, who are the Brahmanical qualification, who are the Brahmanical initiation. That person only should chant who got the initiated by a spiritual master with this mantra, Gayatri Mantra. Even though we are aware of the mantra, the same mantra who is getting from the Guru, only that person can chant the Gayatri Mantra. That will give them their result. That will give the result, Gayatri Mantra. Otherwise, everybody can chant the Gayatri Mantra, but that won't be fruitful. So to chant the Gayatri Mantra, there is some certain rules and regulations. They have to wake up in the morning, and they have to do the mantra in the 3 Sandhya, 6, 12, 6. 6 a.m. in the morning, 12 p.m. in the afternoon, and 12 p.m. in the noon, and 6 in the evening. This is the specific time they have to chant the Gayatri Mantra, and the specific position they have to sit, and they took bath before doing the Gayatri Mantra. So all the rules and regulations are there to chant the other mantras, even the small Gayatri Mantra also. We are saying that it is not a small mantra. Actually, I'm saying that for us to chant that mantra is very small. So that is the reason that even that mantra also to chant, we require a specific rules and regulations the person need to follow. But to chant the Maha Mantra, holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, the Kali Yuga Yuga Dharma mantra. There are this Maha Mantra, there is no rules and regulations. Anywhere, anytime, any place, you can chant the holy name of the Lord. There is no qualification required. Even the Chandala, who is the lowest, the outcast, from the 4 varnas, out of 4 varnas, well, Chandala, who is the dog eater, even that person also revive his consciousness by chanting this mantra, and he can also attain the Brahmanical qualification, and he can go back to Godhead by chanting this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, because that is the powerful. This Maha Mantra, it is coming from the spiritual world, so it has so much potency, because that is the Kali Yuga Dharma. So Kali Yuga Dharma is chanting the holy name of the Lord, that will take out from this material world, material existence, take us from this material existence and send us to the spiritual world. So that mantra, it is so much powerful. So we have to follow that mantra so that it will be glorify the Lord, and the connection between us and the Lord, what is that disconnected, that will be re-established, and we can go back to Godhead. And also the Lord is controller of all the living entities. We already saw the 15.15 slogan in Bhagavad Gita. He is the controller of everything, and he is the knower of the Vedas, and from him the knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness is coming. So he is the controller of everything. That's when he is the Padi. All the appearances, 6 appearances, all the planetary systems, everything, he is the owner. So for that, such Lord, Śukadeva Gosvāmī, what is saying that? Be merciful upon me, the Lord. So he is giving all the explanations. The Lord opulences, he is explaining all the opulences. He is the Padi for all. And finally, he is asking, please merciful upon me. So before giving his, talking about the process of creation, he was worshipping the Lord in this way. Hare Krishna. Grandhara Śrīmad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Hare Krishna.